Okay, this is how I made 172% of quota in my third month as a BDR, or we call it BSC, cold calling. All I did all day was cold calling, like nothing. I didn't send one cold email. Um, so first thing is my activity was the highest in the company. So minimum target in terms of dials. So there's about 40 sales guys, and the minimum target of dials is minimum 90. And the company average is like 97. My average was 145, and that was like within my first month. I was like, my average was 145. So have biggest activity, and you get more reps, and you build a snowball of your skill set, and then you talk to more people. Talk to more people, then you'll get better, and you'll increase the number of opportunities that you had, or that number of chances you had to create a sales opportunity. So it's exponentially better in two ways, because you get exponentially better from each rep, and you at the same time also have more opportunities, and you're better, and you have more chances, and you're literally better. Track lots of metrics. So I every day I'd get a piece of paper, and I'd write 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and every time I pitched a meeting to someone, that counted as that was one, so I would tick. And then the next time I pitched a meeting, that I would tick. And I knew if I ticked, if I got 6 pitches in, generally speaking, I would get a booking. So that was like tracking the input, because getting that booking, sometimes it's too far away. Like it's too far away. There's a lot of external reward for the booking and the SAP meetings and the deals, but I had to make external reward for myself, because the company gives you those external rewards, right? I had to make external reward for myself for the other inputs that led to those results. So I would write 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then every time I pitched someone, I'd write a tick, and then I'd also write 3 goals, which was, the first one was always have fun. Like if I had to enjoy it. If I wasn't enjoying it, then it would come through on the phone, and I sounded like shit. So I had to enjoy it, and then it was also better for me mentally as well. And the other one was often, it was like stick to process, and then the other one was whatever I needed to improve. I would also track how many times I beat the gatekeeper. So every time I beat a gatekeeper, I'd give a tick. I'd track how many bookings that I got in the calendar that weren't within the SLA period. So our SLA period was today or tomorrow, so same day, next day. If it wasn't same day, next day, then you wouldn't put it through the system yet. You just send the invite. And then, once it got to the day before, then you'd call them again, and then you'd process it in the system, and that counted as a booking because it was within the SLA. So I would track every out of SLA booking that I made. I would track that too, because that's a big win, right? Just because they couldn't do it today or tomorrow doesn't mean that, you're doing well. If I get 7 of those, then, the next few days where they're all leading up, they're all, I'm set to process all of those, will be really good days, and I've set myself up for success. So I should reward myself for that. So just literally giving myself a tick for all these things, like your brain, you have a monkey brain, and you use it. You know what I mean? Like, I have a monkey brain that when I tick things, I do it more. So give myself external reward for the inputs that I need to do to get the actual outputs that I want to get, right? This was important because when you're not doing that well, you feel it badly, and then you feel desperate, and then that comes through on the phone, and you get worse and worse and worse, and it's a cycle it's a feedback loop of negativity, and it gets worse and worse and worse. So all these things I would do to tick, like give myself ticks, and it would bring me into a positive feedback loop, and I'd be going, because so much of it is momentum, right? So getting myself on the forward momentum again, which was basically through these practices every day, I would kind of keep myself on a forward momentum, to be fair. Like I don't remember after a couple months in, I didn't remember many times where I didn't feel like I was on a positive feedback loop. There were days where it was really tough, but I had learned that if I stick to these processes, and it was amazing how many times that I'd stick to it, and I just make sure my activity was super high and keep going, how many times I'd get a lot of results by the end of the day and whatnot. The first 2 months were really tough, right? Especially the first 6 weeks, because you're scared, right? Like it's a results-based industry, and you're scared. Like there were times where I'd be on the train, It was a Monday morning, and Mondays were always tough at the start. And I'd be like, oh, fuck, it's Monday. Like, this is going to be a tough day. I don't want to get zero. I don't want to get zero. And I had a lot of anxiety. And the thing is, you can't, like, you have to be honest with yourself and say, like, I can't come into work in that attitude. I need to change something about my attitude. Otherwise, I'm going to have a terrible day. You know, if you're too hard on yourself and say, I should just be tough and push through it and blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, but like, it's the energy. Like, you can't have that energy all day, right? You'll fucking lose it. So one thing that helped in the first couple months, first maybe 6 weeks, was I started saying when it was Monday, I'm like, all right, just try to have a better Monday than last Monday. If I have a better Monday than last Monday, then I'm happy. Or when it was a really tough day and I wasn't getting results, I'd step back. I'm like, take a step back. All right, now the goal is I want to go to bed tonight knowing that I did everything I possibly could. Like, everything I possibly could. So then that became the new goal. And then when I'd achieved that goal, and then I would get home and I'd feel really good about myself. Because I said it was a really hard day, but I put more work in on this hard day than most people put in on their best day. And I knew that, you know, that would serve me in the long run. Also, end of day, I would track all these metrics. I would also track on my piece of paper. I would track, like, every time I opted in someone for a webinar, and every time I opted in someone for an email, which, by the way, I love the webinar strategy. If I was still in cold, I would love to do it more, but we had like a delay with our webinar. So basically, like, you go for the booking, and then when they say no, you just say, all right, like, cool, I'll just opt you into this webinar. Like, it's about these topics that should help you. They will do it every week in our business. And then because now it's a psychological thing. Because now you've conceded, because you asked for something really that you really wanted, and then you conceded without fighting it, they feel reciprocal to say yes. They're like that's like a 90% close rate in terms of the webinar thing. Probably 80%, maybe less. That's a guess. But the thing was, once I registered them for the webinar, and then I'd call them after it, even if they didn't watch it, they were just so open to speaking to me. They were just like so open. It's like it nurtured them, made them, because, you know, I was cold calling them initially. So there's a resistance in terms of, is this a company I can trust? And I think just the emails they got about the webinar and just seeing that we're a legit company just made them feel like they could trust me. And then when I'd speak to them you know, it was really good conversations, and they were so open, and I'd book a lot of them. I just didn't do it that much because I only really started using that strategy in like the last month of cold calling, because now I do a different channel. It's not really cold. But I would have loved to do that. I think you'd get so many bookings that way, honestly. Anyways. End of day. So I would track all that on a piece of paper to reward myself. And then end of day, I had an Excel spreadsheet where I would track all my metrics. Dials, pitches, out of SLA bookings, inside SLA bookings, SAT meetings, and deals. And I'd do that every single day. And then I could look over, you know, a course of weeks and months, okay, like, what have I been consistent in? Like, what needs improving, you know? And it was just, you'd feel, if you don't track, I saw someone say this in this like tech sales chat, is like, if you don't track your metrics, you're just an admin member. You're in admin. I mean, I really like that. I really think it's true. You need to be on top of your shit. If you don't track the shit you're doing, like, you don't know how you're going. You don't know what you need to improve, you know? Another thing is like work back, come early. Like, you'll make more money. It's a sales job. Like, most people, it's 4:59 and they're out the door. It's crazy to me. Like, you'll make more money. Like, why are you in sales? You don't want it that much, you know? And it's crazy. Like 90%, like, I'd say we're a highly skilled team, but still, like, 90% of people are just fucking losers, you know? Like, they don't want it. They don't want it, bro. So yeah, just come early, stay back. Like, you'll be better than most people. Like, I used to work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, sometimes 7, like, without any extra pay. Like, with this job, the more I work, the more money I make. It's incredible, right? Like, what other industry allows you to do that? Like, you can choose how much money you want to make. You can choose. So now I'm like, now I work less hours, and I'm like, oh, the more I do, actually, I'm actually getting me opportunities to make more money. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. In terms of other tactical stuff, was like, practice the script outside of work every now and then, just to get it in your subconscious. So I do it in the shower a bit. I do it when I wake up. I would try to wake up in the morning and do the script while I'm like walking to the shower, just to like, that way when you get to work, you're fresh. You don't have to. You're not thinking, how do I do this again? What the fuck? It's in your brain. It's in your brain. So I would drive my missus lives kind of far, like 45 minutes away, and when I would drive her home on a Saturday night, I would do the script, and she would like answer like a client, and she actually really enjoyed it, to be fair. Yeah, it'd be like 1 a.m, or like midnight at like 11:30, and I'm like on a Saturday night, and I'm saying my fucking script to my missus. Yeah, so that was always fun. And that, honestly, that helps. Like, just on the weekend, just reminding yourself, okay, this is what I'm saying, and it just gets in your subconscious, right? Because what happens is you get to a point where you're saying the words the right way, but you're not even conscious of it. You're actually listening to the prospect, and you're just saying stuff. You're like a fucking ninja, right? And the other thing that helps you get to that point is, so sales is energy, or like, you'll have your best days, and it's like, a lot of it's energy. Like, you feel the best. Like, one of the best days I had was when I just found out I was moving into this new channel. Like, I kind of basically got like promoted in a way. And then I had like my last couple of days on calls, and I was just so excited, and it came through in my calls, right? But anyways, my point is, if you listen to those calls when you're really hot, and then you can operationalize how you say the script to just say it the way you say it when you're really hot, and that becomes the new normal. And then now you've because otherwise you're just relying on your energy, and you can do things to increase your energy throughout the day, throughout the week. But another day, like, I'm doing calling like 8 hours a day, like 5 days a week, right? So, if you can operationalize your tone and the way you say things, so that way the way you sound when you're hot becomes the way you sound normally because you've practiced it, then what happens is all your calls are good. And then also, not only that, but you're like a ninja. Once it happens, it's crazy, because you'll realize, I'm saying all this stuff, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm not even conscious that I'm saying it. And sometimes I'm like, whoa, wait, what am I doing? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just saying the script. Like, as I'm saying it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is the script, right? Because it's just so subconscious. And then while I'm saying it, really, I'm listening to the tiny little things that the prospect is saying. Like, if I'm saying stuff and they're like, oh yeah, I'm like, okay, this is a good one. Okay, cool. They sound interested. Or if they're not saying anything at all, and I'm like, this one's a bit interesting, but just keep going, be confident, and then see if I get anything. This is what's really happening in my mind while I'm saying these words. I'm not even thinking about the words at all, and then I can get what things they reacted to well, and then, focus more on that or like adjust what I'm saying slightly to focus more on that, So that script thing, like, use the fucking script, bro. Like, no one uses the script. Like, no one. It's crazy. Like, it took the team 2 months for more than 50% of the members in the team to actually use the script. Like, no one used the script. It was ridiculous. I kind of did, but I should have used it more. Even I was bad at the start. I was aware of it though. Like, you got to have faith in the process that you're given. Faith in the script, faith in the manager that you have. You have to believe in them. You have to believe in the process. If you don't, you will not succeed. So even if arguably they're wrong, it's completely irrelevant, right? Like, just what would happen is this is why like those lunchtime discussions or after work beers discussions with other sales reps, they're dangerous, man. A lot of them are dangerous because like for me, the toxic guy in a sales team, like some people, I don't know, the typical thing that people might think is that, you know, the guy who's top performer and like very competitive or whatever, they might think that's toxic. But once you're in a sales team, you'll realize the toxic guy in a sales team is the guy who doesn't follow any of the processes, doesn't do that well, but at lunchtime and when he's talking to other sales reps, he tries to convince them of his thinking, of his way of thinking. And then all the work that the manager did to train you in the right way is now being ruined by this fucking idiot who thinks he's smarter than the manager and only has like a month of experience. That's the real toxic guy in a sales team. And you don't pick them at the start. Like they're innocent, nice people, but then they don't do what the fuck they're told. I think about the first couple of weeks, and the guys were stressing. I started with 8 guys, and they were like stressing, and I kept saying like, look, yeah, but you know, if I do it like, if I make 4,000 more calls, do you think I'll be a bit better? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, so I'm just gonna do that. And then after a while, I just realized no one thinks like me, or like maybe there was one other guy. And plus the manager who thought like me. And then I ruffled a lot of feathers, man. Like pissed a lot of people off when I started doing well. But you want to piss them off. If you're best friends with everyone in the sales team, it means that you're fitting in their box. Which means that like you're purposely situating yourself beneath them to please them, which is conducive to their goals, not your goals. You know, a lot of people in a sales team, some people might talk about, guys, we should be a team, you know, we're all in this together, blah, 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 blah. Bro, I'm here for my career, for my future. Fuck you. I've known you for 2 months. You're going to live the rest of your life. I'm going to live the rest of mine. And like, we don't need to be best friends. Like, fuck you. Like, especially the ones that have been there longer. The ones that have been there longer, that's where it's dangerous. Because some of them are great, some of them are nice. But some of them are like, they want you to worship them. They want you to stay below them. So the advice they really give you isn't actually good. But that's the thing. If they're competitive to my face, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's good. You know, you don't want me to beat you and you're honest about it. But, you know, you rate my hustle. That's good. But the dangerous is when they're not honest about, really they just want you to be in their box, you know? Because I'm on something here, so I'm going to stay with this and then I'll go back. Like, people talk about having a why. Like, you got to have a strong why, da-da-da. And but the thing is, it's very, like, my why is like, bitch, I'm broke. Like, I live alone. I need money. I'm trying to secure my future. I'm trying to increase my earning capacity. So then, if that's the goal, it becomes very simple. It's like, okay, I want to do cold calls because that's a more valuable skill than whatever the fuck these guys are doing. So I'll do that and I'll get better at that. And as long as I'm getting better, then I'm developing a skill that will serve me and make me money for the rest of my life. Like, what other why do I need? Like, my God, like, yeah, I want a family one day. So, geez, I need to make them money. Like, what the like, like, what other why do you need, you fucking idiot? You know? And that's the thing, like, that's what like a sales team, you're there for your individual goals, you know? Like, I had some leads that I'd find that people had given up on, or they weren't working the lead anymore. And it was fair game to try to work them. As long as you didn't burn the lead, you could try to work them. And I'd book them. People would be mad. Like, bro, you gave up on that lead. You didn't work it. You didn't want to work it. I booked it. And then they like took it personally. I'm like, dude, bro, I cold call. Your lead knows who we are. To me, that's gold. And I booked it, you know? But if I didn't do that, then I wouldn't be serving my own goals. I wouldn't be improving, you know? But then I would keep people happy. But fuck their happiness. Fuck keeping them happy. Do what I want to do, you know? Keep myself and my manager happy. As long as because my manager is incentivized for me to succeed. He gets paid more if I succeed. So his goals are aligned with me. Fuck everyone else's goals, you know? Before I go into anything more tactical I had a big mentality shift of like, okay, if it's physically possible, I will do it. So when I came into the business, my plan was, okay, find the guy who's doing the best and just like try to double his input and learn from him, just copy everything he does. But then the cold call channel was quite new to the business. Actually, it was very new. Like we started the cold call channel. It was like 8 new guys. They had no experience and we started it. We had these like bought leads that were pretty good leads that didn't know who we are, that we could cold call, right? And my problem at the start was I said, there's no one to copy. Like no one in this sales team has done this before. So I can't copy them. They do other leads, not cold. And then after a while, I just said, you know what? Like, so my manager had a lot of cold call experience, but not software. He's like charity sales and stuff like that. So like very different. But there was a lot to learn from him, right? So I just said, all right, I'm just going to copy him. Like that's going to be who I'll copy, right? And then after a while, I just said, I saw this like Alex Hormozi video and he was like, you have your A+ players and their mindset is if it's physically possible, I'll fucking do it. And then you have your A-, which is still really good, which is if someone else did it, I can fucking do it. And then I said, fuck, I'm an A-. Fuck that. I want to be an A+. I want to be like, if this is fucking possible, I will do it, you know? And then what's funny was, once I switched to that attitude, obviously my results improved, but I actually realized there was a guy who I was working alongside with who he basically just did self-gen. Like he just figured out his own self-gen. He didn't call the cold leads that we were given. Before we started, he just started doing self-gen and he actually had success with it. He had his own system and whatnot. And then I just like started taking tips from him and copying how I would listen to how he would speak on the phones. And then I modeled him to an extent. But it was still a different path. And I had to have that mindset switch of, okay, if it's physically possible, if the laws of physics say it can happen, I will be the fucking guy to do it. To get tactical again, a big thing about the cold calls was get something on the calendar, right? So, pardon me. Like, if I got through the script, there was some sort of interest there. You know, I'm calling about like, you know, I work just for some context, by the way. So I work, it's like small to medium businesses, like mass market, not mass market. I don't know what the term is, but small to medium, any industry, small to medium, 1 staff to 50. Or more, but like generally with cold calls, it was very small businesses, 1 staff to 50, HR and health and safety, compliance support, software advice, documents. So we could sell to anyone, any small business owner. So that's why like our activity can be so high, because there's just so many. Like you can sell to any business across the country and New Zealand. Now, in terms of okay, yeah, so I'll start with this. So in terms of call style, I like fun and casual, increase my status. I think it helps on cold calls to increase your status. People love their permission-based openers and all of this shit, but really I just think they're just pussies. People love their cold emails and all this shit. I just think they're just fucking pussies. They're just scared to like talk to someone on the phone as if you're an equal. Just talk to them. They're just a normal person. They have a business. They shit just like you. They wear pajamas just like you. Like, just talk to them, right? So I liked like sounding fun, strong, like happy, like fun. And then with the close, it's strong close, but then there's a switch of like, okay, this is very fun, it's high energy call, high energy call, high energy call. And then near the end, there's a switch of like, look, we're doing these demonstrations, they're free, over Zoom, we'll showcase our services and give you some advice. And then it's not, do you want to do it? It's like, have you used Zoom before? I love that question because they don't expect it. Everyone's used fucking Zoom. It's another pattern interrupt during the script, right? Just when they think you're closing them, you don't even close them yet. You just go, have you used Zoom before? And that's assumptive. And it's also a pattern interrupt because then they're going to say yes. And if they said yes, then they're more likely to say yes again, right? And some of them were aware that that's what I did. And they said that still worked. Have you used Zoom? Yes. Okay, cool. Now it's back to some random discovery. How many employees do you have? Do you know about this? Do you know about that? Cool. Hook. Bang. Now the real close. All right, cool. I'll organize. I'll send you a calendar invite and a Zoom link. I'm available this time. And then all that is very strong and happy. And then just at the end there, I'm available, or my manager or whatever is available this time this afternoon, or does tomorrow work better? I see like the change there of like, all right, based on our conversation, I'll organize some time with you over Zoom. Look, I'm available this afternoon at around 3 o'clock or 4, or does tomorrow work better for you? And now I'm very soft because now I've got them and now they're there. And now they're like, does that work? They're thinking like 4 things. They're like, does that time work? Do I really want to do this? He sort of got me here. Okay, I'll just think about the time. Because now they're not thinking about yes or no. They're thinking about what time works, right? And they're like, what time works? Well, they can only think about one thing at a time, right? So they've gone past yes, no, and now they're just at what time works. Because that's an easier thing to answer. Rather than, like, it's more effort for them to argue with me and say, no, let's not do it yet. Than to just think what time works, right? Obviously there's a percentage that will just say, no, let's not do it yet. But okay, what time? And then now that they're thinking in this thinking mode of an open-ended question, does tomorrow work better? And they're like, and then if they're like, and then you poke them again, it's like, it's like, or does tomorrow work better? They're like, and you feel it out. Well, I can do 3 p.m. tomorrow. Or is it morning good? Is morning good? Yeah, morning's better. Bang, now I know I've got him, right? But don't get excited. Okay, I can do 10 a.m. 10 a.m. work, 11? Yeah, 10 a.m. Yeah, sure, 10 a.m. All right, cool. Bang, now I've got it. Time is secured. Booking is secured. Right? Booking secured. Awesome. Now, something that took me a while to learn, and there was a lot of training from our manager about this, and I've gotten pretty good at it now, is like after the booking is secured, trying to set it up for success. Look, we get paid based on deals, commission of deals, not on opportunities created. So we're incentivized to do that anyway, right? Of like, ask a few more discovery questions, but make them thinking, okay, get a few discovery questions, qualify them a bit more as well after booking is secured. A bit more discovery, figure out, what ways we could help them. If they have a lot in place, well, do you go to 3 different things? Maybe if you had all in one, that might help. Okay, you don't have a software. Okay, we'll look at that. Okay, you go to a lawyer once a year about these things. Okay, well, we should probably be more cost effective. We're aimed at smaller businesses, and we keep you up to date always. So you don't have to go to them. So we'll look at that. And then it's like, just reiterating at the end there, like, look, so I'll send over the invite. I'll give you a call in the morning, make sure you got it. And what we'll do on the demonstration is, we'll showcase our service and, ultimately have a discussion with you, and then you can see if it could be a good fit for the direction you want to take your business. And now that's reiterating, this is going to be a sales conversation, and saying that it's going to be a sales conversation in a positive way. So many people, when they start, they keep saying to prospects, I have nothing to sell you. You're fucking lying. You're a sales rep. And that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to say, I don't have anything to sell you. Yes, you do. You're selling them a meeting. You want to buy their time. You want them to buy your time. I don't know. But you're selling them, and that's okay. Like, I never once said to a prospect, I'm not trying to, like, I'd say, look, I'm just suggesting we have a meeting about it. You know, I wouldn't say, like, I'm not trying to sell you. Yeah, I am. And they know it. They know I'm trying to sell them. It's in my tone. They're like, fuck, this guy's good at this. That's what they're thinking. But then what happens is they're thinking, this guy's good at this. They must be, like, actually good at what they do. Because otherwise they wouldn't have good sales reps, you know? Thing is, so that's like the close. And what happens as well there is sometimes it's like, if you get through the whole script and they say, no, look, just send me an email for now. Get that bitch on the fucking calendar. It's like, and this is how you do it, right? You're like, so it's a double close, but you have to do it in this sequence. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So you have to say like once they've said, no, really, just send me an email. It's like, all right, no worries. I'll definitely send the email. I get it. We've just spoken for the first time. I get it. I'll send over the email. You can have a look at our website. See that we're a legit company. Like, make them, have fun with it. Make them laugh, whatever. See that we're a legit company. I'm not some psychopath. I wouldn't really say psychopath, but yeah. See that we're a legit company. See, now I've said that, their guard is down again. They're like, relaxed. They're like, okay, he's going to send me the email. Everything's going to be okay. I'm safe. And then it's like, look, just a suggestion. And now, because I've conceded, they feel reciprocal to be open to my suggestion. Just a suggestion. I'm going to put something in, because I book up quite quickly, I'm going to put something in the calendar for Friday. But you can have a read of the email, and I'll speak to you on Thursday, and we can go over it together. I'll speak to you on Thursday, and make sure that, what would I say? I'll speak to you on Thursday. Put it on the calendar for Friday, but I'll speak to you on Thursday, and make sure that works for you. And at that point, they've gone through this whole call with you. It's just easier for them to say, yeah, sure, okay, cool, thank you. And they're like thanking me because that I wasn't too pushy in the sale. But I actually got what I wanted. I got like, that's a demo. Like, I've put the demo in the calendar. I haven't made it an opportunity in Salesforce, but I've put that demo in the fucking calendar, right? And I do that four or five times a day, And then, once I call them on that Thursday, so like, okay, that's getting the bitch in the calendar. And then there's when you actually do that confirmation call. How you do it is so different, right? So then you call them and you're just confident as fuck. You're like, hey, I've got a 2 p.m. with you tomorrow over Zoom. Just like, hey, it's Luca from XYZ company. I have a 2 p.m. with you tomorrow over Zoom. Just making sure you got the invite for that. And what you want to do is between tomorrow over Zoom and making sure you got the invite, add a value piece. Like, if you remember in the call, they said something that's important to them. Obviously have that in the notes and rehash that as the value. People talked a lot of shit about rehashing the value and I never got it, but now I started to get it. It's like, if they said, like, I've only got a few staff and, I don't know, if they said I got a lawyer to give me documents a couple of years ago, be like, I've got a 2 p.m. with you tomorrow over Zoom. I know you have a lawyer that, I've got a 2 p.m. with you tomorrow over Zoom. We're going to look at updating a lot of your documents. I know they're a few years old. Bang, a value piece. Then next question is just making sure you got the Zoom link for that. So I'm not saying like, hey, remember like you said, send me an email and I said, I'll put it in the calendar. It's in my calendar for tomorrow. I'm just making like, do you want to do it? Like they're going to say no, right? But like, if I say like that, it's a much higher close rate of like getting them to agree to that booking, right? Yeah, okay, cool. They said, yeah, I got the email. Okay, cool. Bang. I've also resent it. So it's top of your inbox. Resent it. And then now it's like, by my third month, and really the last few weeks of my third month, I got a lot better at rebuilding that value for the BDM when they get to the meeting. So that way I'm like, look, hey, so look, we're going to go over X, Y, and Z. We could probably help you in these ways. And, ultimately we'll give you some advice. And the main thing is, we'll showcase the service and see if it could be a good fit for how you want to operate your business. Now, like, they're coming into the meeting with their credit card in their back pocket of like, Like they've got their pen and paper to like assess, okay, is this a good fit for my business? Like it's reiterating this is a sales conversation, you know, and like not shying away from that, like saying it like it's obvious, you know. People are so scared to like say this is going to be a sales call, right? But if you just say it confidently, they're like, oh yeah, of course. Like the way I said that, they're like, oh yeah, of course, you know. And at the end of the day, you know, they're a business, they're trying to get business, they're trying to help me. We'll see if it's good, whatever, you know. But if I'm scared to admit it, like it's happened at companies. They'll go into the demo thinking it's just an information session, but it's a sales conversation, and they'll be pissed off. You don't want to do that. Another thing was like getting through the gatekeepers. I got this from like one of my mentors, Flynn. Was the gatekeeper thing is so cool. It's like let's say it's Joanne. Like people try to be so nice to gatekeepers, but it's just like, hey Joanne from XYZ, how can I help you? It's like, hey Joanne, how are you? Like that. I'm good, thanks. Yeah, can you put thanks? That's good, Joanne. Can you put me through to John, please? And she's like I was so confident. She might be like, okay, sure. Like she thinks I'm a big shot. She doesn't think I'm some SDR, like BDR sales rep guy. She's thinking like, oh, this guy like sounds like he's got a lot going on, and like he's been speaking to John. I might have never spoke to John before in my life, but the way I'm saying it sounds like I have, right? And she'll be like, yeah, like who's this? I'm like, yeah, it's just Luca. He'll know what it's about. And the amount of times that works is ridiculous. And you'd think that it would shoot you in the foot, but it doesn't. Like 90% of the time, it doesn't. Because then you just speak to John, and then you just do the script. You just do the script like from the start, you know. Well, the best was like when I'd get a lead, and the lead doesn't work at the company anymore, and then you call them and be like, yeah, look, I was speaking to actually, I just spoke to Mark, right? Mark left the company 6 months ago, but he was the director or the operations manager, whatever. And like I'll call the gatekeeper and be like, hey, Joanne, Mark left the business a little while ago, right? Yeah. Look, I was speaking to him in the past about X, Y, and Z. I need to speak to whoever's replaced his role. Not like, can I speak to them? No, I need to speak to them. You know what I mean? And then like just super casual too. Like, yeah, just put me through to John, please. You know? It's like casual. Especially the close. The close is like casual and assumptive. It's not like, once I'm closing, I don't need to sell you the demo. I'm just saying like, yeah, let's go on Zoom when you have some time and we'll go through it. Like, I'm not selling you the demo. Actually, we're just doing it. I'm assuming it's assumptive close, right? Yeah. Last tactical piece is, once I've got that bitch in Salesforce and I've processed that booking for tomorrow, it's like on the day, getting them to sit, right? Getting them to sit. Like, you just got to accept it's a fucking dogfight, right? So it's like, call them all in the morning. And then, you know, let's say he answers his demo is at 2. It's like, hey, we've got hey man, just a quick one. Like, reiterate that's a quick one. Right, it's just a quick one. Look up right HR. Hey, going? You good? Hey, look, I've just got the 2 p.m. with you today over Zoom. Ask some bullshit question that you made up to be as the reason for the call. But really the reason for the call is just to remind them that we have the 2 p.m. today. And rehash the value a little bit. Remind them why they're doing it, why they agreed. Like, say the same thing you said. Like, ask some bullshit question and then rehash the value of why they're having the meeting, which you already rehashed the value yesterday. Do it again today. And this is probably like the most stressful part of the job. But you just got to, it's just part of the job. You just accept it, right? And I imagine the more you do it, the less stressful it gets. But yeah, I'm only 4 months in, to be fair, right? So like, call them in the morning. If they don't answer, call them at 11. Call them at 12. Like, get them. Like, text them. I would text them just a reminder for our 3 p.m. today of Zoom. And then even if I called them in the morning, I might call them 10 minutes before. So I'll resend the calendar invite on the email, and then I'll call them 10 minutes. Hey, I had like his power was out in the morning. But then he's like, no, I'll be fine. My power's out right now, but I'll be fine. So I'm like, bang, now I have an excuse to call him 10 minutes before, so he fucking sits, you know? Or sometimes it's great because you'll call them and they're like, oh, I'm going to be late. Should we move it? And it's like, I've booked at the hour. So I know it's like, I'm like, oh, like, do you need 10 minutes? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. Just be 10 minutes late. It's fine. I'll move it a bit. It's fine. Like, it's going to be all right. And then that's it. But if I didn't call them, they would have missed it completely. They would have been like, I'm 10 minutes late. I missed it. Or like sometimes I've called them 10 minutes before, they haven't answered. At 3:05, they haven't showed up. It's meant to be at 3 o'clock. 3:05, they haven't showed up. 3:05, no answer. 3:10, no answer. 3:18, answer. Hey, just look at Bright HR. You all right? Not even like, we have the Zoom now. Just like, you all right? It's like, yeah. They're like, yeah. And they know why you call it. It's like, yeah, just I'm just on the Zoom. That's all I'll say, and just shut up. And you're like, oh yeah. A lot of time they'll jump on then. It's like they just thought they were late, and they're like, fuck, I was late. All right, I'll just leave it. But like you call them, and I had deal on days happen like that, where I called this guy 24 minutes in, and he hadn't sat yet, and I finally got through to him. And I'm like, hey, and he's like, man, why does it have to be a Zoom? Like, why can't I just tell me, just give me the price and that's it. I'm like, yeah, I get it. I had to objection handle him right before he sat. Like, I get it. Like, look, the guy you want to speak with, he only works on Zoom. So that's why it's on Zoom. You don't have to put your camera on. It's just, he only works on Zoom. And he's like, yeah, but why is half an hour? Why? He's an Italian guy. Like, why can't it be 5 minutes? I said, it can be 5 minutes. But I can't promise you it's going to be 5 minutes. What if there's more questions? What if there's more things we need to explain? We need to make sure that, we're offering you a product that's, that you understand what we're offering you, But we'll try to make it 5 minutes. And then anyways, and he's like, all right, fine. I sent him the invite. I stayed on the phone till he clicked that bitch. And then he clicked it, and then he signed up 30 minutes later. It was the best. Anyways, so it's like, that's a tough thing about it, because sometimes I just want to focus on prospecting. But then so much of your energy and your mental thought goes to like, are these fuckers going to sit today? And that's like the stressful part. Alex Hormozy was talking about this. So in one of the sales teams in one of his companies, they made a role where the guy's role was just to confirm meetings all day. So there'd be 100 appointments in the calendar across the whole team. And his job was just get him to sit. And it's like, then everyone doesn't have to worry about anything. They can just prospect. And I think that's such a good idea. And I'd love if our company done that. I'd love it. And the thing is, you need someone that's really good to do that role. Like if I did that role, I'd be sick at it, but I wouldn't want to do that. But like, you can't have some shit cunt doing it, because otherwise they won't rehash the value. They won't do it right, But if you just had like some gun and you convinced them to do that role, and like, I don't know, you paid them something for every time someone sat, or like they got paid based on sat meetings for the week or something like that, would just be awesome, I wish we had that. That'd save my life, because it's just so stressful, but it's just part of the job, man. You just gotta embrace it. And then like reschedule, like let's say they miss it. It's like, all right, they didn't, like I'll call them like 5 times during that hour, or like 4. And then like, all right, all good. They missed it. I might call at 5 o'clock. See if they answer then. No. Okay. So I'll call the next day. Generally call the next day a few times, and then call the next day. And then after a while, I'll just give it 2 days rest. 2 days rest. Or if I get them rescheduled again and they no-show again, the next time they no-show, it's like, give them 2 days rest, and then you call it, and then you can get them back in a lot of the time. So yeah. Look, my cancellation rate isn't the best. I think it's always been above 20%. Cancellation rate, also known as like not sat rate. That should be the right term would be not sat rate. Not sat rate above 20%, around 30%, meaning my show rate is like 70%. Yeah, just clearing that up. But my volume is really, really high. So then my sat is still really high compared to other people. It's just more of my, so I guess I should improve in that regard. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't know if I'm too good at closing them and then they feel like, fuck this guy. I don't know. But overall, it's gotten me good results. It's just the company really cares about the cancellation rate, which maybe they care too much about that. I don't know. But yeah. So that's like all the stuff about cold calling that I learned in these past 3 months. And look, I got pretty good at it, to be honest. So hope that helped. Now I've been moved into, like, I basically got moved into one of our top channels, which is a channel, like, they met with our sister company about like HR and health and safety, and then that was too expensive for them, or they didn't sign up, and now we're often a better fit for a small business. So a lot of the time they're like super good leads, and you know, they're not leads you can just find. You know what I mean? Like, these are fucking premium leads. Like, small business owners, a lot of them were inbound and like needed help but just couldn't afford the service, and we're like a tenth of the price sometimes, or a third of the price, and we do a similar thing. So they're hot fucking leads, and it's such a different challenge. I'm working more hours than I did in cold, that's for sure. I can't go to lunch anymore. I eat lunch on my desk. I fucking order DoorDash fucking a Porter's burger, and I'm just like fucking pumping it, bro. I go gym like twice a week now. It's fucked. Like, I work out like, I don't have time, bro. Different challenges, because like getting them to, it's only been a week and a half. So like, but I had some challenges with like some of the one, like, you don't have full control. When I was cold, I had full control of my brand. Like, they had never heard of us. They only knew me, and they kind of liked me. So they're like, this is cool. But now, because I'm calling from a sister company of another company they spoke with, and they spoke with like 4 people there and a BDM there and da-da-da. And now I'm calling them, and I'm part of that brand. And so there's less control. Sometimes they're a bit pissed off about this person or that person. My manager said this to me once. He's like, they can't see your smile through the phone. They don't know how nice of a guy you are. You know? They don't know how fun you are. They just know the company and the brand. And if the brand has lost goodwill with that person, then that's going to be taken out on, they're going to take that out on you, and you have to just cop it. And that's a different challenge. And yeah, I had some that I booked like so many meetings, but just like too many didn't sit. So like, I'm like 3rd in the company for booked meetings this month, including the inbound team, which is awesome. Really, really good. But then I'm like 5th for SAT meetings. So it's going good, but things I need to improve on, definitely. On my whiteboard, I have this thing. It's like straight line and then just like up. You can't really see it. Anyways, it looks like a hockey stick, because the idea is that like your progress and the results you get in terms of your progress is not a straight line. It's like a hockey stick of like, you suck, and then all of a sudden, bang, right? And that's what happened. So in my first month, I had $2,000 of revenue that I made the company. In my second month, it was $4,600. And then in my third month, it was $47,500. So yeah, it's like exponential. So yeah, you got to push through that valley of despair, or that like difficult period where you're developing the skill. There's a million things you're learning every day that are leading to results you will get in the long term. Like, you're building the bridge to the outcomes you want, and you don't feel the outcomes for a very long time. You have to have faith in the process. But yeah, hope this helped in terms of cold calls. I learned a lot in these past 3 or 4 months in terms of cold calls. I'm very valuable for the time doing it. Add me on LinkedIn.